Can we say TGI Friday? Or is that a little too much? How is everyone doing today? So here we are. It is Friday. What are you committed to in your life? What are you deeply devoted to and dedicated to? Most people, they talk about commitment, what they want, but they rarely consider what they're willing to give or do for it. Do you even know your values? What's important to you? What are your priorities in life? You can say you want things, but what's the motivation behind them? What drives you? Are you coming from a place of fear of missing out, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of not being worthy, not being enough, not being lovable? Or is it from a place of love that inspires you and burns the fire within you to go after what it is you value, prioritize, and desire in this life? When we learn what we value, what is important to us, and allow that to fuel us from the place of love instead of the fear factor. Fear is great, it can motivate you. But we want to come from the inspiration, the spirit within. The driver should be something that fuels you, not exhausts you. Fear takes away and depletes you of your life force. Spirit, inspiration, love, breathes into you the energy, the spirit that you need to keep going, to sustain you, maintain you. Again, fear depletes you. Love inspires and replenishes. What are you committed to? What are your values? What is it you seek to experience in this life? And are you holding yourself back out of fear? Because fear is the only thing that does set us back. Fear is the only obstacle in anyone's way. And it's mostly starting and originating in the mind. When we come from a place of love, it's a trust, even in the face of fear, that no matter what, we will get there. That something in us is sparked. Again, it's inspiration, the spirit within. When you can harness that, wield the power, that love is so powerful. Fear requires force. Fear, again, puts your flames out, depletes you of energy, of that life force. It sucks the life out of you. But love puts it right back into you. We're always vacillating. We're always going to have this, little bit of fear will come in. But you have to lean more in the direction of love. You have to be committed to you. You first. Are we going after things outside of ourselves because we don't recognize what's within us? That's fear. When you know it's within you, you'll find it everywhere around you. And it's the same with fear too, because when you've noticed there's fear around you, things to be afraid of, that's originating within you too. But if you can recognize that and own it, you can actually harness that power too. And you can metamorphosize, alchemize, and turn it into the love that you seek and desire all around you. We do crazy things as humans. We do things out of love, we do things out of fear. But the more you're in awareness of where you're coming from in those moments, notice how you feel after you do something. Do I feel more alive or do I feel more deprived? When you tap into that awareness and that knowing, that's the key to unlocking the door to the future that you desire. That will keep you going and going. that when you exercise the courage muscle, when you're in mindful awareness of what goes on up in here, your stories, your thoughts, and your responses to how life shows up to you, the more you are in awareness of all that, the more that's available to you. You have to be present to the gift of life. You can't be stuck in the past, and you can't be anticipating the future. That's when you miss the gift the most. The gift will pass you by when you're in the past or trying to fly ahead to the future. And body language is always the first thing to tell you. Is your head jutted forward? You're trying to anticipate the future. You're all up in your head. When your head is jutted back, you're stuck. You're in the past. It's holding you back, right? When you're present and you're neutral, you're in the moment, and the gifts are right there in front of you. The question is how easily you can identify the gifts. Be grateful for them. Come from a place of awareness and knowing who you are. Don't hold yourself back, because you are powerful. You're a powerful master manifester of your life. Everything that has been served up to you has been served up for you, from you. You created it. You're creating your life in all moments, all times. But always the question is how committed are you to creating that which you claim to desire? What are your values? What do you appreciate and grow that you want to manifest more of? Every one of us has had experiences in our life where we look at it and go, wow, I thought about that and it happened. Yes, because that's how powerful you are. And the awareness and knowing that you did that should create more of that intrigue and awe, inspiration within you to want to do more of it. That when you have fear and you still face it with courage, you build the courage muscle. You create the opportunities for yourself every time you forge ahead. No matter how fearful you may be in the moment, if you can still show up, that's your superpower. The choice to face fear despite it. So today, I'm just wanting to share that it's really important to have a sustainable practice, a good community of people to support you in whatever your commitment is to you, to deepen your dedication and devotion to the path that you choose and want. It takes dedication, it takes devotion, and it takes an investment of your time, your energy, and consistency. If you do not have people to support you, to stay consistent, to hold you accountable, how will you be able to maintain and sustain that which it is you claim to want, wish, or desire? What are you willing to do to create the life you claim to want? It's really easy for people to say they want this or they want that, but they're not doing anything to move in the direction that will take them there. You can say you want things all day long, but what are you willing to do to get them, to get there, to be that, to receive it? Are you someone who can come to promise, to compromise certain things in your life to achieve and support the values you have and hold, to prioritize yourself? My Women in Wellness online retreat, I have changed the date. We are now starting in July to give people an opportunity to really sit with how powerful and how valuable this will be. 11 weeks, you have access directly to me. I have increased the price for one reason especially, that it is very much undervalued. The price will be $2,500 for new people who sign up. I already have people signed up who made the price $1,500. That was my gift to those people who committed to themselves. My gift this time is $2,500 for 11 weeks. 3 hours once a week. We meet in a Zoom call. The rest of the time you have access to me via Telegram and a private group on Facebook. You're not just getting show up once and have to figure out how to sustain yourself, but you're getting a community of like minds who are committed, dedicated, and consistently going to show up for 11 weeks. That's over 3 months. 3 months for $2,500 is quite a valuable tool and gift that you could give to yourself. But the question is, do you value yourself enough? I've spent thousands of dollars going to Date with Destiny with Anthony Robbins, and all that was 6 days, and then I had to figure it out after that. I've done so many yoga teacher trainings and workshops and Beyond Addiction programs as well, because I know I'm worth it. I value myself, and I have invested in bettering myself, getting to know who I am. And I have numerous tools that I've learned and created on my own from my own personal experience that I know work and have applied to my life. If you show up for my videos and you find value in these, then I guarantee you will find significant value in 11 weeks with me. If you want this versus a one-on-one with me, this will be the better option, and the reason being is because you will have a group of women to give you feedback, to hold you accountable, to ask questions, to support one another, which is what we need more than anything right now in the world today, is we need to gather in groups and community, and especially for those of you who don't have that where you live. If you have trouble with the money, reach out to me and I will work with you as far as a payment plan. But this is about you. And when I hear people say it's too much, I hear I'm not worth it. I'm not worth that much money. If it's important to you, and I guarantee whenever there's a priority in your life, you make a way of finding the money, don't you? Anytime I have been short of money, and I have had to struggle over the years. I still struggle sometimes, but I always find a way to make it work. Because when I put it out to the universe, this is how powerful we are, and you need to give yourself more credit. We are master manifestors, and if it's important enough to you, the universe will conspire to support you. The universe will not leave you hanging if you commit to you. It just needs to hear that you value yourself enough, and it will deliver exactly what you need. So if you're hearing this message and this is exactly what you needed to hear, send a prayer out to the universe and see what happens. If this is important enough to you to change your life and mindset and anything you've been struggling through over this past year, or even in your entire life, all you got to do is make the choice for you. Committing to you sets the ball in motion. It starts rolling that when you choose you, everything shows up to support you. Trust me, I know this from personal experience. Anytime I was wanting to do something and I'm like, wow, I don't think I have it, it always worked out. It always showed up for me. Even if I had to make a payment plan through a program that I was taking, I was always provided for. I just need to make the choice. In my heart and soul, I know I'm worth it, and the universe does too. So what's your hang up? What's holding you back? If you value yourself, all you got to do is choose you. It's not about the money, it's about the commitment you make for you, that you devote and dedicate to you. Committing to 11 weeks is no small, it is a huge commitment. 11 weeks means I'm going to be consistent and I'm going to follow through. And in some cases, that's a hard challenge for a lot of people. The idea that, oh my gosh, 11 weeks, I don't know. You miss one, that's okay. But the truth of the matter is, 11 weeks of support in a group, it sets you up for success. And here's why. It takes 40 days to break an old habit and create a new one in its place. You need to recreate habits that are going to support you for success. And that means breaking the old. So we go through the death process, because major life changes, when you make and break habits, unravel the old, which means you have to honor what was to make way for what will be. When the old dies off, you have to go through the grieving process. That's all part of life. And most of us are just kind of skipping along, jumping from one to the next, and then wondering why we're struggling, because we didn't honor the ending of the old and give it that time, that grieving process to make way for the new. It's a codependency. And a lot of people, they jump from one relationship into the next, not giving themselves the integration period, the time to actually reflect, what did I learn from that relationship that provided me insight into who I am, intimacy. Every relationship is doing that for you. And when one relationship ends, you need to give yourself the time to spend with yourself and to deeply reflect, what did I learn from that? And what am I taking forward with me? The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. It's all perfect. So that when you go into the next relationship, you're all polished off like a diamond with the insight of what it is you gleaned about yourself, what intimacy I see, the intimacy you learned, you deepened with yourself as a result. What resonated, what didn't, and what you've learned enough to know to go into the next one to improve. That's what we do. It's what we're supposed to do. But if you're just going through the motions of life and letting it show up and kind of just, I'll figure it out as I go, with no intention, no commitment, no dedication or devotion to the fact that this is what I want out of this. No, just let the other person decide for you. And then later you build up resentment and frustration toward them. And then that's when relationships go awry and they blow up. Because people just jump in with no idea, no commitment, no conversation, just assuming. And you know what assuming does? It makes an ass out of you and me. Every relationship, every encounter, any person, anything, any business that you want to build has to start out with, what's my intention behind this? What do I want to get out of it? That's being straight up and forthright. And if you're not like that from the start, you're allowing whatever to come. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's for you. If you don't know in the beginning what it is you desire, then you're leaving it up to chance. And that's perfectly fine too, because you'll still learn from it. You'll still deepen your relationship with yourself. But you really need to be more mindful of your patterns. So in every relationship you get to learn, what are my patterns? Ooh, my last relationship, I was a runner. I didn't like the way I felt, so I ran away. Or, I'm a romantic. Oh, I romanticize the person before I even get to know them. How many of you out there are like that? I can talk from experience. I can tell you all sorts of stuff. But you should really join my Women in Wellness online retreat, and I'll tell you more. Because I know my patterns, and I know what I've learned from my relationships. I know what I've learned across the time in my life, my experiences. All of them have taught me about myself and how to improve upon what was, how to better communicate, to get your point across. Never assuming, but clarifying. Everything we say is meant for us to hear. 90% of it isn't just for the other person to hear you or to understand you. It's to deepen your relationship to yourself. And we'll go over that. But first you have to be willing to commit to yourself, to choosing yourself, dedicating and devoting to you, investing in you. That's the most important thing you'll ever do in this life. and I'm here for you. So in the comments, let me know if this resonates. And if this is not going to work for you and you do want one-on-one life coaching with me, reach out to me in Messenger. We can put something together and we can work together. This is my gift. That after this, the price will be double. This is going to be the best plan any one of you could ever have. I already have people signed up. But my goal is to make it a nice round group of women that are committed not just to themselves, but to one another. Because you're there to support others too. It's a cohesive circle, a sacred circle of trust. And everything stays private between us. So make the choice. Choose yourself. You are worth it. I love you, and I'm here for you. No matter what, I hope you have an amazing evening. I love you. Enjoy your weekend.